guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's come to my attention that, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with this system. And, I've had the Oracle School out for a while now, and it's been awesome getting feedback from you guys. So I wanted to strip it down a little bit and present a new exercise that I think is going to be really super helpful for everyone trying to learn this, no matter what level that you're at. I just think this is a really freeing exercise, and it's sort of the way that the playing card oracles actually evolved. This system was not revealed to my father or myself all in one piece. It was revealed over time in different layers. It was almost like Spirit was giving us a lesson in how to learn this system. And so, thinking back on that process, I realized some things about the way that I've been presenting it. And so I think I want to show you guys what I myself worked with for a long time before I proceeded to other things. And so here's the exercise. I'm going to use the calendar spread, right, which we've already learned. And even if you're not comfortable yet calculating your dates, right, I want you to just lay the cards out in these 4-card piles like we do for the calendar layout. And I forgot to turn a card, so we'll turn a card. Until you get to your cut card, because we don't want the calendar layout to feel like a thing. I just want it to feel really second nature for you guys. And then, of course, we continue turning the next 3 cards, right, when we do our calendar layout. So the exercise is like this. Now make sure that you're using the vertical formation of cards, okay, and 4 cards. This is the exercise. And then we're going to just make up a story. That's it, and it helps to have a question. So let's just make up a question. We're storytellers now. My question is, I am thinking of changing career paths, and is it a good idea? That kind of thing. So here we have this queen at the top. Let's just do this. Let's follow this and make up a story. And we're not thinking about what the card positions mean, or if cards are reversed or upright or anything. We're going to just take what we've learned so far in the school, which is the calendar layout and card meanings, basically, right? Like, what does each card mean? And we're just going to make up a story. So let's say, okay, here's you. Here's the client. I'm imagining it's a female. And we have the Queen of Hearts at the top. This is a lady of passion. She's following her heart. And here she is at the top of the spread, And maybe she's being guided by her heart in this question. And how nice is that? It's a really nice thing. You notice, I don't care if she's upside down or right side up. Remember, in this way of card reading, reversals don't change the meanings of cards. And so it does have an impact, but we're not there yet, and we don't care for this exercise. We're just focusing on the meanings of cards. So she's a lady of passion. She's following her heart, and here she is, sort of like a beacon at the top of the layout, And here's this strong wind at her feet, You know, the strong wind that is right next to her, blowing on her. Moving energy. A big change is happening, I would say. You know, wouldn't you? If you were just making up a story here. Ooh, and here we have the grave. She's letting something go. Something is being put into the past where it truly belongs. Maybe her old career has been sort of dead for a while, you know, and she's finally saying, okay, it's really over and I need to let this go. And here's the big axe at the bottom saying, okay, the axe comes down, I'm truly cutting the cord, I'm burying the past, and I'm moving with force, like almost like she doesn't have a choice, into the future, into this path of the heart. And I would guess her old career path felt much more spade-like, you know, much heavier and much more traditional kind of career. And she's moving. It feels a little uncertain, but it's like she doesn't have a choice, like I said. So I'm just making up something, you know, I'm going with it. And I'm just freeing myself of, you know, there's a lot of information in the playing card oracles. It's a very sort of complex or deep way of reading cards. But I want to give you guys this exercise again for no matter what level you're at. This is just a really wonderful way to develop that ability to see connections between cards and see stories. You know, let's do it again. Let's say my question is about love life, you know, and I don't recommend choosing questions from your own life, you know, for practicing. Just make something up. And the cards have a way of dropping hints anyway. They can't help but reflect a little bit of what's going on in your own life. So let's say I just met somebody. Oh, it just seems pretty good. And I'm wondering if there's a potential for something long-term here. So I'm just going to cut the deck, turn a card, and mend the deck, and I'm going to lay my calendar spread out. Whether or not I count the date, I just want to get used to laying the cards out this way. So it just feels second nature to me. And my cut card, and I want to use that vertical formation. And there's the Two of Hearts. Isn't that interesting? And so, before we go into our next story, I want to just talk to you guys a little bit about this vertical formation of cards and why it's so important. You know, I find that people seem like they want to avoid the vertical formation, and that in general people are more comfortable laying cards out side to side, you know, in sort of a time sequence. And it's unusual to find a layout that just has this strip of cards, right, without like a circle around it or something else going on. But if you think about it, this is like the vertical axis of the cross. And you have time here, but you have the present moment here. And we bring a lot to the present moment. We're multi-dimensional beings. And the 4-card layout gives you a very rich picture of the whole being, body, mind, emotion, and spirit. So it's a really powerful card reading formation once you sort of get a handle on it, but you don't want to avoid it in the beginning. You want to get used to seeing cards in this way. And Laddie, Lainey, myself, my father, we all used only the vertical layout because that's what was given to us. So from the beginning, we were laying cards out in this way and looking for stories, and that's all that we had in the beginning. We had my dad's, magical images and the calendar layout, but we didn't know what the 4 card positions meant. We were just looking for stories. And I think that's a really great way to progress through this system. And, if you've already learned a lot more and you're working with more, try this exercise. Take it back to this storytelling way of working with cards. It's so freeing, and I think it will enhance whatever you're doing with the playing card oracles. So let's work with this story. Let's not waste this opportunity to find a story here. So the question was, I've just met somebody and it feels really good, and is there potential for something long term? So let's say that the person asking the question was a female. Just imagining it was a woman, and I'm imagining that's my client here. And this is so interesting with Morgana, who's so notoriously independent, right? She's the old maid, quote unquote, of the deck. And here she is next to the 2 of Hearts. So this is quite fascinating to me. And then I have the Sword of Truth here. So interesting. And the Ace of Clubs at the bottom. So I'm feeling like this woman sort of sees herself as very independent and maybe a loner. Maybe she wasn't expecting a relationship to come along, didn't know she wanted a heart-to-heart relationship with someone. And yet, what she's seeing in this other person or feeling strikes a chord in her. Feels really, really right. Like maybe she's having a realization, that it really is a true match here. And this card, I'm just going to say, maybe she's having to reimagine, kind of who she is or what her path will be like. Asking her, is it what she really wants? Could she see herself in a heart-to-heart relationship because it's being given to her or presented to her if she wants it? So maybe she has to sort of reevaluate her dream of herself or what her dreams are for herself. If she can be the partner, that she would need to be for this other person. So that's a possible story, right? Your story with the cards would be just as valid. It's just an exercise in developing our ability to see connections between cards, right? So that's the exercise, guys. I hope you really do this. I think it's something you could pretty much do forever and just really develop your confidence with the cards and the way they work together and seeing them in the vertical formation that will become so important to you as you work with this system. So thank you so much. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys, and I'll see you back next time.